Hello guys, my name is Isense David and I am a painter based in Lagos, Nigeria. I make new hyperrealistic paintings. It is a fusion of hyperrealism and abstract expression to give room for broader conversation. It talks about sharing experiences in an extreme manner. New hyperrealism comes from the word new, revived, reinterpreted. My style, new hyperrealism, focus on the reinterpretation of hyperrealism. Some of the challenges I faced starting out was not having support from my parents. When you're young, you rely on your parents for most of the things that you need, and your parents would, especially if you're from Africa, your parents will always support something that they believe in. In my case, my parents didn't support my heart because they didn't believe it was something that I could do for a living. So when I was starting out, it was quite difficult. They didn't want to see me draw, and each time I picked up a pencil and I was working in the house, my dad always sees it as me wasting my time. The second challenge I faced when starting out was not being able to access good materials. Art stores are not everywhere in Nigeria. You only find the best art stores in Lagos. For people that are in other states, it's quite difficult accessing materials. And when I was starting out, it was difficult accessing quality materials. I mean, I had just graphite pencils and some erasers. I didn't have a blending stump, I didn't have a good brush, I didn't have any of that. The third thing I went through when I started out was also um, the price of materials. Because these materials are imported, they are not made in Nigeria. The process I went through was not having money for quality materials. Like, it was very difficult accessing materials because of that. So for most of you who follow my work on Instagram, you'd remember that last year I went for a residency in Lagos. It was organized by a particular entertainment channel in Nigeria called Pop Central, and it was to celebrate 70 years of music in Nigeria. Now, the role that residency played in my life as an artist was it helped me discover myself. Before the residency, I usually make just pencil portraits. During my time in the residency, I realized that I really want my portraits to have much more depth, much more meaning. I got to work with sculptors, I got to work with abstract painters, I got to work with different kind of painters and artists, and they were wonderful guys. And being in that space helped me look at my work through different perspectives. And I think that was one of the role that the residency played in my life. It helped me discover the style I'm currently exploring. I developed my art style after the residency. The residency has just ended, and I was back home to my studio, and I just couldn't go back to making portraits. And that was because my experience in the residency already shaped my mind on how I wanted my art to go. I didn't quite understand or know what I wanted to create. So what I did was that I started exploring other styles of art. And then one day I was in my house and I just got the idea to reinterpret hyperrealism. And I think that was how my style started. My style is called Neo Hyperrealism. We focus on the reinterpretation of hyperrealism. There are so many hyperrealistic artists out there, very wonderful guys. But hyperrealism can go beyond just being photorealistic to exploring hidden things in the mind. And that's what this style that I'm exploring is about. The turning point that made me feel like I am on the right path was when I met some of the artists I follow on Instagram in person. Social media have a way of creating this illusion that everything is perfect, everything is great. But then when you get to meet these artists in real life, you get to see what's real and what's not real. Because some of these artists only upload the good stuff on their social media. So I don't know, you're getting this false perception of it's a perfect world out there, but it's not actually. It's not really a perfect world. When I met some of my mentors, they made me realize that it is going to be difficult, and some of the challenges that you go through currently, some of us go through the same challenges, but it has paid us. It is why we're still making art. So meeting my mentors made me realize that I was on the right track, and the challenges were just some of the things that were natural with artists. I mean, self doubt is something that everyone goes through. For me, I handle self doubt by talking to people. If I try giving my mind a therapy and it doesn't seem to be working out the way I expect it to be, I pick up the phone and I call my mom, or I call my mentors, or I call some of the artists I admire. And the reason why this is important is because as an artist, you really need your mind to be at the right place. If you're bothered about something, if you're thinking about something, it's gonna show, it's gonna reflect in your work. And that's something that I keep telling people. It's very, very important that as an artist you have this group of people that you talk to, you have this community that you belong to. For me, I talk to someone, that's how I understand that. The first advice I'm going to give to every upcoming artist is to stop spending time on social media. A lot of the artists out there spend more time on their phones than on their drawing board. And the reason why is because when we first realize the challenges in sitting down to create a body of work, we tend to look for solutions elsewhere and we often lean into social media. If you're an upcoming artist, the first thing that should be your priority is having a body of work. Now, not many artists are aware of this, but you really need to have works to show. My second advice for upcoming artists is to photograph their works properly. If your work is poorly photographed, it doesn't matter how good the work is, it would affect how people see the work. So one of the things you have to do is to photograph your work properly. And also, one of the advice I give to artists is to document the process of their work. And the reason why this is also important is because you need all these files. You need to keep all these files. You need to have them for reference in the future when you speak to potential collectors or potential clients. And one of the things I'm going to advise upcoming artists to do is to feed their mind. Invest in your mind. Read books, watch podcasts, go out more often. That's my next advice. Another thing that most artists do is they don't go out more often. They don't understand how the art industry works. Some of the artists that I've mentored don't really understand how the art industry works. Don't really understand, don't even know the key figures in the art industry. You have to put yourself out there. You have to really invest in going out. You have to speak with creators, you have to speak with collectors, you have to speak with other artists to find out what the art industry expects from you. That's how you grow. I think these are some of the advice that I'm going to give to upcoming artists. Thank you. So guys, thank you so much for taking your time to watch this video. It's been a while since I uploaded something here on YouTube. I've been super busy. I've been trying to build my body of work. I've been trying to walk the talk. I mean, I just gave you guys this advice. These are things that I'm doing every single day in order to get to the goal. And I would love for you guys to stay updated because I plan to make more videos like this often. Thank you so much for the support. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I think that's it. Thank you.